Welcome back to episode 8 of this First and 35 podcast. I'm your host, Gus Cousins, along with Tomoki Graham, who's back here.
Yep.
One more week. Congrats for him.
Very exciting.
Our first edition of playoff football on this podcast. So I guess we'll start with the NFL because that's where a ton of news was coming out of.
Sure.
The regular season wrapped up last weekend. Week 17 finished off with a major upset. The Miami Dolphins taking down the New England Patriots and forcing the Patriots into a wildcard game, which we'll talk more about that in a bit.
I just hope the Patriots don't go to the fucking Super Bowl again.
No, I don't
I'm
think
so
there's
sick
a
of
chance
seeing
now.
them over and over again.
They play Tennessee in Foxborough tonight at 8:15. That'll be, I think, the game of the weekend out of the 4 wildcard games because everyone's going to be on the Titans bandwagon to just take out these guys once and for all. But so finishing off the regular season, the Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers, Packers all got their first round byes. With the loss to Miami, the shocking loss to Miami, the Patriots are forced into a wild card game, as I mentioned today.
I bet you were happy there.
Oh, I was so ecstatic watching that game. And, the Dolphins are, playing really well, but then the Patriots, of course, in the fourth quarter come back and take the lead, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, shit, this is just done. And then Fitzpatrick leads them down an 80-yard drive down the field, capped off by a Gesicki touchdown pass.
Saw a video of that on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, it was so brilliant. And then they had the audacity to try and pull their own little last-second flip the ball back and keep running with it. It's like nobody can do that except the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I saw
I
saw the clip on also a top 100 plays of the decade.
Yeah, that was
number
I saw
6 or something.
Brilliant.
Really high.
One of the best, I would say the best football plays, one of the best ones I've ever seen. And I'm biased because it's the Miami Dolphins, of course. But still, it was so fun to watch. But yeah, the Patriots can't do that, and they shouldn't even try. So the games this weekend for the wildcard weekend, matchups are the Titans at Patriots, like I said. The Bills play the Texans today as well. The Vikings play the Saints. And the Seahawks, for no apparent reason, play the Eagles in Philadelphia. For wildcard games, the Eagles somehow got a home game out of all this. I think that's a joke considering how bad they were and how shitty their division is. But I guess whatever happens, happens. To cap off the regular season, the 49ers played Sunday Night Football against the Seahawks. San Francisco won 26-21, and they locked up the division, forcing the Seahawks into another wildcard game. So there was a lot of meaningful games last week, and it was fun and entertaining to watch. And the Bengals lost. They guaranteed their first overall pick in the draft, which pretty much wins the Joe Burrow sweepstakes. Burrow, who had another hell of a game for LSU last weekend, and they're moving on to the college football finals. Later on, we'll talk about that too. But so that's good for them, I guess. They'll get the quarterback they want, and you'll have the starting quarterback named Joe and their starting running back named Joe. So that's something too. And then it was Black Monday in the NFL. Tons and tons of guys getting fired.
We'll
just
Monday.
Go over a few. Yeah, every year, guys from every team. It's just nuts, and it's fun to watch. Not fun for these guys, but from an outsider who doesn't know shit about any of these guys.
Yeah.
80 people getting their capped after the regular season ends is just hilarious to watch. The Browns did their annual firing of their head coach and GM. They let go of Freddie Kitchens after 1 year. He led them to a 6-10 record, which was better than all these other terrible records before that. But still, 6-10 was nothing good, considering they had Super Bowl aspirations heading into this year. They had Odell Beckham, they had Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield was the next big thing, although he's not anymore. And then they also let go of John Dorsey, who was with the team from 2017 until obviously now when he got fired. He was supposed to be the next big thing in terms of management for that team. Never led them to anything. The Freddie Kitchens decision was a poor choice, and it just didn't work out. The Giants fired their head coach, Pat Shurmur, who went 4-12 this year. He was there for 2 years. Again, the Giants couldn't get anything going. They have their franchise quarterback now, I would say, in Daniel Jones, who they like, and they have Saquon Barkley in the backfield running the ball everywhere. So they have a good foundation, but I don't think Pat Shurmur was the guy either, and they canned him only after 2 years. However, it is the Giants. Nobody expects them to contend next year either, and I think they're kind of another rebuilding team. They'll get there eventually. I don't know what they're going to do with Eli Manning, because that whole thing was a mess. But
is he still playing?
He moves on. Eli Manning is, yeah, so I believe what they're going to do is they're going to let him walk, and he hasn't officially decided if he's going to go into retirement or not, so another team might pick him up. I wouldn't be surprised if, somehow the goddamn Buccaneers picked him up because they got sick and tired of Jameis Winston, the Jameis Winston who ended the season 30 touchdowns, 30 INTs, which is a joke. Or somehow he'll end up on the Jaguars and maybe mentor Gardner Minshew, or I don't know how they're going to deal with Nick Foles and all that. But yeah, so that was another one. The Dolphins did a bunch of firings. They fired their offensive coordinator, Chad O'Shea, their offensive line coach, Dave DeGlumio. I think I fucked that up, but we're just going to go with it. Their safeties coach, Tony Oden, and then they hired their new offensive coordinator, Chan Gailey, out of retirement. He used to be the offensive coordinator calling plays for the Bills and the Jets along with other teams. He uses a big spread offense, and a lot of the time, all 4 receivers are going to be on the field. It's going to be a much different offensive look this year. Although I didn't think Chad O'Shea did a bad job considering that offensive line is complete trash and nobody could run the ball on that team. So I think that'll be good. The Redskins fired their president after 10 years, Bruce Allen. They also hired a new head coach in Ron Rivera, who was the ex-Panthers head coach. He was well-liked there. And they also hired Jack Del Rio, the ex-Oakland Raider coach, as their new offensive coordinator. It's a new-look offense for them. I think it'll be a good turnout. I mean, they've had the whole Alex Smith thing for years now, and he's coming back from injury.
So are the Redskins going to go through a rebrand yet, or what?
Hopefully soon. I mean, they're doing all this garbage. Like, if you're going to be
PR?
bad, you may as well just completely reset your organization. They got Dwayne Haskins filling in at quarterback last year here and there. It's kind of a messed up situation. But yeah, I figure if you're going to be really bad for a long period of time, which they might be, just change the whole thing.
Just rebrand, man.
Yeah, and if nothing else, for the PR people, if you come back and it's like you have this new look team with a new name or new logo, whatever they're going to do, they might not do anything, but if they do, and you have a new roster turnover, and then you can have this what they hope to be their franchise quarterback and Dwayne Haskins take the reins of all this,
yeah,
and it's just like a new kind of segment in the history of the Washington franchise. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, though, because I think they're stubborn, and I think it would result in major backlash because...
Pull Derek Jeter and just trade everybody and...
Yeah, well, they have...
Recolor everything. And
they don't have a lot of people to trade. Like, that's the only thing. They got a couple guys here and there. Their good wide receiver this year was Terry McLaughlin, and I think was a rookie this year, so he'll be there. But they have a lot of messed up parts, and it's going to be tough for them to rebuild their team. But I think eventually they'll get there because it's much easier to in football as opposed to other sports like baseball and hockey. Derrick Henry is the new rushing leader this year. The dramatic final few minutes in the Titans game last weekend, he overtook Nick Chubb, scoring like a 56-yard touchdown running. So good for him. Helped me 39 points in fantasy, which I won, by the way. But anyways, Antonio Brown was worked out by the New Orleans Saints, although he wasn't signed, and then they started arguing each other, surprise, surprise, because the Saints told him, just come by yourself, don't bring anyone, and then he brought literally everyone, and they all started hating each other. He brought like a full entourage of like a camera crew and like his buddies to come watch him, like, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Maybe he wants a media presence, man.
Yeah, but he's never going to get signed again. Like, doing that, you just piss off every team. And I don't think he was going to play anyways, because the NFL said they would probably put him on their exempt list, so I don't think he would have played. But watching that tandem of him and Michael Thomas and all these guys that they have in New Orleans would have been fun, but obviously that didn't work out. Nothing good can ever last in Miami, because right after they beat the Patriots, the next day news came out that their Pro Bowl cornerback Xavier Howard was arrested for domestic battery against his fiancée. I don't know if you read about what this was, because... she went out to buy like a handbag or a purse.
How dare she?
She came back with it, and apparently it was like an expensive handbag, but they didn't talk about it. So like he ended up like pushing her into like a mirror, like one of those sliding mirrors for your like.
What's his contract? Bedroom. How much is he making?
I don't know exactly. They re-signed him last year. That was their big free agent signing last year. Yeah. Restricted free agent signing, I should say. He was one of the top cornerbacks in the league last year. Obviously, he was shut down, put on the IR this year because you figure you're not going to waste your best player, arguably, getting hurt on a meaningless team like the Dolphins. But so he'll probably be suspended, I would guess, 3 or 4 games to open next year, which is a blow for the Miami Dolphins, I guess, even though I don't think anyone thinks they're going to contend. They got rookie cornerbacks this year, Nick Needham, guys that can fill in and just fill the spot until... the Xavier Howards of the world come back. But if he can come back, he was one of the best cornerbacks in the game. I think that'll be it's obviously going to be a big plus to have him back on the team.
I mean, for a pro athlete, how much could an expensive purse really put you back?
Yeah, I don't really, because you figure, like, even if it's like a purse in the thousands, right? Like, I don't know how much these things are, but really, who cares?
It's probably nothing compared to his contract.
No, you get paid millions and millions of dollars for this, and it's like, oh, you go buy your purse then. Like the
Yeah.
dude wasn't even playing football. He was like showing up to games probably once a week and the occasional practice here or there, and just chilling the rest of the time because he couldn't play and he was injured. Like, who cares? Like,
Maybe it's a lot of anger just building up or something.
anger that you see guys like Josh Rosen throwing INTs in that team and just builds up over time. Maybe. I don't know. The Bears announced that Mitch Trubisky will be their starting quarterback for 2020 to start at least. That drew a little bit of attention because, Trubisky was so goddamn awful this year. But Ryan Pace said he's back, so I guess he'll be back. They also re-signed their safety Eddie Jackson to a 4-year, $58.4 million extension, 33 of which is guaranteed. He was brilliant for them this year. He has been for the last couple of years, and they locked up probably their top safety. Well, not probably, their top safety for the years to come. And then the big news right before we went on air to record this, I looked at my phone and there was an update saying that the Patriots are actually going to face discipline some point over the next 2 weeks for their involvement in the Cincinnati Bengals scandal, where they had Patriots documentary guys accidentally, quote unquote, film the sideline of Cincinnati before their game with them.
So Houston Astros sort of thing.
Similar, yeah, although this was too much. It was like a one-game thing, but still it's the Patriots and everyone hates them. So I think that'll be really interesting because they're in the playoffs right now, and over the next 2 weeks, if they beat the Titans, they're still in it. So if they hand out something major, and I don't think it'll affect really their players or their coach or something, but if it does turn out to be like that, that'll be a major stepping stone for the teams like the Chiefs in the AFC who have to go through these teams.
If anything, it's a morale.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's, I mean, there's not a whole lot of information out because we just found out about this and the NFL just released it. But I think next weeks going on, I think that'll definitely be an interesting situation to watch. Sticking with football, the college football playoffs also happened last week. The two semifinal matchups, if you will. Clemson beat Ohio State 29-23, and LSU absolutely murdered Oklahoma 63-28. 8 touchdowns for soon-to-be Cincinnati Bengals starting quarterback Joe Burrow. He had 7 in the first half, I believe.
Oh my
that
God.
was a wipeout of a game. Oklahoma stood no chance.
Was it a home or away game for LSU?
It's these stupid goddamn things. College football, they have every year tons and tons of bowl games.
Oh.
So it's like it doesn't matter really how good you are because there are teams, like their games are still going on yesterday and today, I believe, where you can have like a 6-7 team and like an 8-5 team or whatever playing in the Citrus Bowl or whatever you want to call it, or the PlayStation Bowl. And it's really just a fun way to end your season so you can say, oh, we won the blanky bowl, even though you finished under 500, so nobody really gives a flying fuck.
Oh,
but
okay.
I forget the names of these two bowls. I'm not sure if they happen like at a home team's facility.
Yeah.
It's just a big population center that they get guys. I don't know. I'm no college football genius. And then there were a bunch of other college football bowl games, as I said. No one really cares about them anyways because there's like, I don't know, 30 or 35 of them every year. Like nobody pays attention to half these games. Some of these they draw crowds like of less than 10,000, a few of them. Like, it's a joke because college football is supposed to be so big in the U.S., but then they just refuse to cut any teams out of it. Like,
NCAA still profiting.
I guess,
care about
but I mean, you got to cut your losses at some point. I know all these players, like, some of them sit out these bowl games anyways to prep for the NFL and the NFL draft. Yeah. It's like, okay, just let the whole team do that. I get if you go to, like, I don't know, Cincinnati's a bad example, but like Arizona State or something, not a great team. Just give these kids the chance to get ready for the draft. Don't force your people into whatever, the Arizona Diamondback Stadium. I forget what the name of that place is, but they played there. They had a bowl game there, and it was just this messed up field that ran across the infield, and they covered off the infield, and they brought in the stands, and like 90% of it was empty. Like, it was just a joke of a game. And I guess it's fun for some. It's like a one last game in college for some of these kids to say, go out with a bang. Yeah. But man, is it painful to watch a 63-28 game, and Oklahoma just stood no chance against LSU. Like,
how many touchdowns in the first half?
7 touchdowns for Joe Burrow in the first half.
You just kind of, got to
think
leave
6
after that one.
throwing and 1 rushing. Like, it was insane. And everyone expected Tua Tagovailoa to be like the consensus first overall pick in the next draft. And now Joe Burrow, all the season, was just building up and up and up and up. And now Tagovailoa might follow the goddamn Dolphins. Him and his back injury or whatever. So, anyways, that's college football in a nutshell. us Canadians don't really understand it, and nobody really cares outside of your states. Jumping to the NBA, not a lot of news there. The Raptors beat the Celtics last Saturday in their bounce-back game after losing to them on Christmas. Then they lost to the Thunder. They beat the Cavaliers Tuesday. And then, however, 2 days ago, how many days ago, they just got smoked by the Miami Heat. It was, at one point, I turned it on, 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they had 69 points.
Oh,
that's
that hurts.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, it was only 80-69.
Yeah.
So they had a decent defensive game. But holy shit, they ended the game 14% shooting threes. They were like 6 for 48 or some goddamn thing like that.
It's got to be frustrating to watch.
Brutal. I love Nick Nurse, but change your game plan. I get you have injuries, and Siakam's not there, Norm Powell's not there, Marc Gasol's not there. Maybe once in a while tell them to not shoot a three, because it's not working. Kyle Lowry couldn't get anything going. It was a bit of a joke.
Kyle Lowry's hit or miss again.
He's very hit or miss. He's been much better recently. Like, he does get on these rolls where it's like he rattles off 5, 6, 7 3-pointers in a quarter. Or
he signed a $30 million extension.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all he needed.
Maybe, yeah. But it's just tough to watch these games. Like, I'm no basketball genius. I don't really know anything about the NBA. But, you gotta just, I don't know, cut your losses at some point, I want to say. And just, let teams, figure it out. And it's such a pain in the ass to watch teams like that have no chance. Like, the Miami Heat are a very good team. So are the Raptors, but the Raptors are injured. If you lose, it's fine. But to lose like that has to be very close to, like, the worst ever shooting 3-point percentage in the league for a game ever. I don't know that off the top of my head, but it probably is pretty goddamn close.
Yeah, that sounds really bad.
Brutal. And then in other news, unfortunately, the former NBA commissioner David Stern passed away at the age of 77. He spent a ton of his time devoted to the NBA, brought the WNBA into place, helped get Canada a team. He did a ton of great things for the NBA, and it's unfortunate to see him go, but he leaves like a very well-lasting legacy. Tons expansion too. I believe he upped it from 23 to 30 teams or something like that.
Impressive.
He did a ton of good stuff for the league. And it's unfortunate, but it's what happens. Now Adam Silver's there running things, and he'll never be as good as David Stern. And I don't know. David Stern was very well liked. Apparently, he was also hard ass, I guess. But that was the sad news.
Unfortunate,
yeah. Also, sad news for the Orlando Magic. They lost their forward Jonathan Isaac. He's out for 2 months with a severe knee sprain. And other than that, that's about it for the NBA. I don't think either of us really care too much. If Ben was here, he'd know what he was talking about, but he's not. That little you-know-what. Anyways, so moving to hockey now, a ton of stuff happened in the NHL and World Juniors. We're recording this, by the way, as Canada is playing Finland. Last we checked in, I think it was 3-0 Canada, like 4 minutes in. It was just, I hope the Finns managed to mount something, because I don't think anybody wants to see them embarrassed like that. But anyways, getting back to the NHL. A few minor trades just to tell you about. The Ducks got Chris Mueller from the Lightning, who's a forward, in exchange for defenseman Patrick Seeloff. The Sabres made a couple moves back-to-back. The Sabres got a 2020 fourth-round pick from the Canadiens for defenseman Marco Scandella, and then they flipped that pick to the Flames for forward Michael Frolik. All these guys aren't having great seasons. That's why they're getting moved. Frolik, I don't believe any of his salary was
A lot of interesting
retained.
names here.
Sorry?
A lot of interesting last names.
NHL, great.
Where are they from? Like,
so
Eastern European countries?
Mueller,
or what?
I would guess, is German. Seeloff might be German. It's hard to tell because you have a guy named Chris, and then his last name is Mueller. So I don't know. But Frolik, I think, is probably Eastern European. Scandella, I have probably North American. A lot of these guys are from Canada too, but I honestly have no idea. And then one more, the Senators got defenseman Mike Riley from the Canadiens for Andrew Sturts and a 2021 fifth-round pick. I can say with a lot of confidence that I think Mike Riley is probably North American. Same with Andrew Sturts.
Yeah. Oh, Sturts?
Sturts, maybe. I don't know, something. There's a little bit of something there. Anyways. But the big news of the week was that there was the outdoor game that happened, the Cotton Bowl. The Dallas Stars beat the Nashville Predators 4-2 in Texas. It was the second largest attendance-wise game since 2014. Oh, yeah, it was nuts. It was right behind the Toronto-Detroit game in Michigan in 2014 when it was, I forget the number for that game. It was over 100,000.
Oh, my God.
I know for a fact. So, big stadiums, draws a lot of people out there. However, it was also, I believe, the second worst outdoor game viewed on television. So the NHL did a poor fucking job advertising it. Which I guess who cares? You're in Texas and you love going.
Yeah.
And the Predators fans got 25 or 30K seats anyways. Massive turnout. It was a thing of beauty. But yeah, they should have done a better job advertising for it because I don't think a lot of people even knew it was on. A lot of stuff happened in that game. In the first period, the Predators were just outplaying the Stars completely. Matt Duchene scored his 9th and Dante Fabro got his 4th. The game started off terrible. This Corey Perry, forward on the Dallas Stars, completely elbowed Ryan Ellis right in the head. Ellis left the game, and I believe he was put on IR the other day. Corey Perry just got handed out a 5-game suspension.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunate for him. He'll miss his return to Anaheim, where he spent most of his career. But, oh man, I hate Corey Perry so much. Fans of teams are supposed to be like, oh, defend everybody. Like, the goddamn Houston Astros are doing.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I wanted someone to run over Corey Perry. Thank God. So the outdoor stadium, I don't know if you saw this, there's a super long walk from the benches back inside the stadium. It was so fun to listening to everybody just boo the hell out of him as he walks back inside the stadium on this like massive like a minute walk. I want to say or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen
brutal.
Those.
But yeah, it was a terrible hit. I think 5 games maybe is a little bit much. But he was a repeat offender. He's done shit like this before. I think he completely 100% deserves it. That was a 5-minute penalty and ejection. Duchene scored on the 5-minute penalty, and then a very, very questionable penalty called him Blake Como, a delay of game. They called it flipping it over the glass, even though I think it looked very clear that it actually hit the glass, and so it was quickly 2-0 because Dante Fabro scored on the 5-on-3, I believe. And then the Stars came bouncing back. In the second period, Blake Como got his revenge, scoring his 5th of the year, followed up in the third period by Matthias Janmark getting his 5th. Radulov, an absolute bomb from the left dot, getting his 12th. That was such a nice shot. And Andrei Sekera getting his 1st. So he finally scored one for the Dallas Stars. Now he just needs to score one indoors, and then it might actually mean something.
Well, he did it in front of 85,000.
Oh, yeah, he did in front of... He actually scored yesterday, too, so he now has 2. I think yesterday was an empty net goal or something.
Oh.
Sekera's on a roll, though.
Yeah.
Look at him. Anyways, there was the Ellis thing. We kind of talked about that. There were a few... later on in the game, another kind of phantom delay of game call going against Nashville, which Dallas then proceeded to score right after the penalty was called. Another one that was very questionable, flipping it off the glass. I mean, I guess I can sort of see that it's tough to see sometimes, so they call it. But, man, that's a goal against each team. And I think it's, I don't know, it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances, to say the least. And then there was the Perry thing, and
You hate Perry.
I can't even get too mad about that, because usually I'm getting mad at guys who have this happen to him.
Uh-huh.
But I despised Corey Perry the minute they signed him to that contract. It was a 1-year, $1 million contract, so big whoop. It's $1 million.
Yeah.
Who cares? God, he's such an asshole, though. Him and Brad Marchand and occasionally Tom Wilson. It's like, oh, and it'd be nice if Perry could back this up by, like, if he was having a great offensive year, it's like, oh, whatever. No, he has, like, 4 goals or 3 goals or, like, he's doing fuck all.
Just the cocky dickheads of the team, I guess.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it was such a good comeback win by Dallas in Texas. It was a great atmosphere and everything. And then this idiot, like 2 minutes in, decides to just destroy Ellis's head. It was just terrible. What we found out during the second intermission of that game, actually, was that the Minnesota Wild are going to host the 2021 outdoor game at Target Field where the Twins play.
Yeah.
People are thinking that it's probably going to be the Winnipeg Jets that play them, but I honestly think it could probably be anyone. Outdoor games are a classic every year. I think they'll have no problem selling out tickets anywhere against any team. But I think a Jets Wild right cross border, I think that'd be really, really fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And especially, I think they could come up with 2 great outdoor jerseys. The Stars jersey this year, I thought it could have been a bit more creative, but it was new and different and all that, and I liked it. The Nashville Predators one was so shit. Did you see this?
No.
It was, look it up right now. It was a white jersey, and then just cursive, it just said Nashville Predators. Like, there was no creative design behind it at all. I probably could have come up with that 5 minutes sitting in, like, math class. Like, it was brutal.
Wow, that is horrendous.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, that's bad.
It had nothing going for it. I mean, the shoulders, I guess, had their little logos on them, but it was brutal. And, I mean, a lot of these people that went to the game, they buy these type of jerseys, right, for the occasion. That is such an
that's
ugly jersey,
man.
And if you look up the Dallas one now, it
Dallas
wasn't anything
Stars
great.
Is nice, yeah.
It was a nice green, victory green, they call it. And it was this new thing with a D, and it was trying to deal with the whole Texas thing. But Man, what an ugly goddamn jersey. I'm watching that in the first period, and all these penalties are happening. And one of the only things I can think is it would be so much more fun. I'd be so much more okay with this if they weren't wearing a fucking ugly jersey. But then they did that, and then it just went downhill.
Maybe that's why the TV ratings are so bad.
Maybe everyone turned it on. They're like, "What's this garbage?"
Yeah.
And they just only see the Nashville jersey, and then they shut it off and just ignore it for the rest of the game. A couple, or more than a couple, a few other moves around the league. Couple guys that cleared waivers that were notable. I can't fucking talk right now. Marcus Grant. God damn this.
It's not even a complex name.
No, it's not. It's an easy name. It's Marcus Granlund, Brandon Manning, Andy Andreoff, Eric Comrie, again, who keeps getting fucked around, Aaron Ness. They all cleared waivers. The Maple Leafs re-signed Justin Holl, there's a name I can pronounce, to a 3-year, $6 million extension worth $2 million as their annual average value. So that's how much he'll get paid per year.
Yeah.
That's just how the NHL does it. The Carolina Hurricanes are expected to re-sign Justin Williams this weekend just to finish off the year. He took time away from the game. He was a long-time Hurricane, loved the team, but he went to go do his own thing. They're expected to bring him back. I would not be shocked if by the time we finish recording this, he's back on the team. Jake Muzzin, the defenseman for the Toronto Maple Leafs, broke his foot. He's week to week. What a shame. What a shame.
You break your foot and you're only week to week?
Well, yeah, I guess he's a quick... I don't know.
Yeah,
He was
what the
garbage
hell?
anyways.
Okay.
I wouldn't wish injury. Well, I mean, sometimes I do.
Oh.
But, man, he sucked.
Yeah.
And I hate the Leafs, but, man, he was so bad. The Canadiens signed Ilya Kovalchuk to a 1-year, $700,000 two-way deal. Officially, it was a two-way deal, so they can send him down and call him back up. I guarantee you, if he gets sent down, there is not a chance in hell he's going to that AHL team. He is saying, see ya, I'm retiring. He's had a nice long career, couldn't do anything in LA. I mean, the Canadians are just struggling on all fronts right now, and I guess they're trying to hope that this is a boost somewhere offensively, but he had 3 goals all year. I think one of them was actually an empty net, and 2 were on the power play or something.
Exciting.
Like
Wow.
Big whoop. He signed a terrible deal in LA. I don't know what the Kings were thinking, but then they released him. And I mean, I guess A is a contract now, but I think 700 is very close to the league minimum for at this point in the season. So, I mean, hopefully he can do something, but I wouldn't expect much. A lot of other injuries. Tell you about Ilya Mikheyev, the soup man for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's out at least 3 months due to a cut on the wrist, which, if you saw it, that was a bloody nightmare.
Oh, really?
I forget who they were playing, but a skate came up. It might have been Carolina, actually. Skate came up, cut his wrist right at your vein.
Yeah.
So it was like very, very serious. Rushed him to hospital. Somebody from the training staff, Kyle Dubas, stayed with him overnight in the hospital. He's gone at least 3 months. It was a seriously bad injury because there was tons of blood everywhere.
Yeah, I was wondering how a
Brutal
broken
watch.
foot is week to week, but I thought a cut wrist would be not as long.
Well, no, this was like a real, because you know how sharp
gash,
skates
yeah.
are. It was a big one right through the wrist, right through your veins, and it was scary to watch. And it didn't look bad at the time because it just came up, caught him, and he actually played the puck after. Like, he got the puck and then passed it up, and then went to the bench and then went running down the hallway right to the hospital. So I make light of the situation, but I actually feel really bad for the guy because I liked him. He was some new guy on the team this year, and he was playing well. But so that's unfortunate for him. Jake Gensel will miss 4 to 6 months after having shoulder surgery. He was one of the biggest bright spots for the Pittsburgh Penguins this year, was going to the All-Star game. Looked fantastic. It's unfortunate for him that he is now going to miss pretty much the rest of the season. Jets defenseman Nathan Boyou will miss at least one month with a blocked shot, which doesn't actually sound terrible,
Yeah.
and I didn't see it, but I'm assuming it must have hit him in the face or something. Rookie for the Buffalo Sabres, Victor Olofsson, who's a forward, will miss 5 to 6 weeks with a lower body injury. If you haven't
That's
noticed
pretty
by
vague.
now. In the NHL, it's like that all the time. No one tells you anything unless they really have to. Adam Pelech for the New York Islanders will miss the remainder of the season with an Achilles injury. That's a big blow to their defensive core, even though I think they'll be fine anyways. But he was a young guy coming up through the ranks. He was having a very good season. Another defenseman, Dean Kukin, will be out indefinitely with a medial meniscus tear and articular cartilage injury. That sounds
That's
the most
specific.
serious one. Yeah,
That's specific.
Some intern got their jaw while he's writing that, I'm pretty sure, because that was... Yeah, this is like the second time ever in my life I'm reading that. That is really odd. And that's it for the injuries. So, I don't know if you saw this. In the NHL All-Star Game... they announce the people who go to the All-Star games, but then you can vote in one player.
Yeah.
For each division or whatever.
Yeah.
So each team has a representative that you can vote in. So the Detroit Red Wings, who are, I believe, in last place overall, they're just an awful, awful team.
Yep.
But so their representative to go to the All-Star game was Bertuzzi, I think. But their guy that you can vote in is Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin came out, and I believe it was on tweet, asking fans to not vote for him.
Yeah, I saw that.
He prefers
That's
to have
funny.
time off.
That is funny.
It's funny, but it's sad because so many guys in the NHL do that. Alex Ovechkin, great player, decided to skip the All-Star game this year, and he's going to get a 1-game suspension because of it. That's how they deal with it. You skip the All-Star game, you get a 1-gamer. I have it here. Jacob Markstrom from the Vancouver Canucks is replacing Marc-Andre Fleury, who was set to go. Fleury's getting a 1-game suspension.
Yeah.
Fleury I don't even think he hates it because he was there in the past, but he's just been overworked this entire year for Vegas.
That's just
and he wants some
unfortunate,
time
yeah.
off. And I think it's a terrible, terrible thing to suspend a guy 1 game for just wanting a break. Like, everyone else gets a break.
Well, he gets extra time off now, right?
I guess, but I don't know. It just seems like the majority of the players in the league obviously don't go to these games, and they get to go on like, oh, you want to go practice, go practice. You want to go on a cruise ship, go on a cruise ship. You want to go to, the Caribbean, go to the Caribbean, right? And then these guys that go are forced into it, and then they get penalized for saying, no, I'm tired, I just want a break. And I think that's a terrible thing. And because nobody cares. Teams don't care if they get a 1-game suspension. They would rather have Fleury sit and rest for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they can throw in Malcolm Subban if they want or something like that. It's just...
No point risking injury.
Yeah, it's such a messed up... And it helps nobody. So those were the 2 weird All-Star Game ones. Some rumors on the trade front. The Devils are looking to trade Ben Jordan's best friend, Miles Wood. He knows exactly what I mean by that. And the Leafs are looking to trade Jeremy Bracco, Dmytro Timashov, and Ben Harper. All 3, I believe. Or Timashov is with the Leafs. Bracco and Harper are with the Marlies and the Miners. I mean, it's another team with not a lot of cap room, obviously, so I don't know what they're going to do. Bracco's drawing a lot of interest because he's done really well for the Marlies this year and in the past. I don't know what Timashov is going to get you, and I don't know what Harper's going to get you. If you really want something good, you're going to have to give up guys like Kasperi Kapanen and Andreas Janssen maybe too, and I just don't think they're willing to do that because Kapanen is such a big part of this team right now. And, with their tight constraint and their money-wise, I don't think they really can do a whole lot. They can go out. I mean, if Hutchinson is their official backup goalie now, and he seems to have gotten his act together a little bit, you say, okay, forget about that. Add defense. Every year it seems to be add defense. Jake Muzzin's out. Justin Hull's been great. He got that contract that I mentioned before. It's just a tough scene because you don't have a lot of resources to move around. Same with a ton of other teams. The goddamn Dallas Stars, I believe, I was looking at it months ago, like 2 months ago. At that point, I think they had $916 in cap space.
Wow.
Like, oh, that's nice.
You can't even buy a nice purse.
You can't go out for dinner with that money as a team. Like, it's... I don't know, there's... The minute you put guys on long-term injury reserve, money's freed up, and you can, get money from different... there's ways around this. But still, with the Leafs, it's a tough situation to deal with. A couple other things I want to talk about here, both relating to my Dallas Stars. Coincidentally, I swear, is that a couple games ago... the Stars played the Arizona Coyotes, and newly acquired Taylor Hall was playing them. One of the worst hits of the year, I think. Taylor Hall, knee-on-knee, completely destroyed Matthias Janmark, and Janmark ended up being fine. I believe he came back and emptied the empty netter. So, it was, revenge, whatever, and he wasn't injured. But that is a dangerous hit. Going knee-on-knee on anybody.
Yeah.
God, who was it? I forget what team the Leafs were playing. Somebody tried to do that to Alex Kerfoot a week or so ago. It's brutal to see these plays. Okay, you're frustrated. That's nice. You could ruin somebody's career doing that.
Yeah,
and it's happened before. You have... there's so many things that can go wrong in your lower body and everywhere, obviously. Yeah. But your knee especially, it's so vulnerable. There's padding.
Yeah, especially high speed.
But it's not gonna stop Taylor Hall from kneeing you. It's not gonna stop guys from slashing you. Everyone talks about, just get better equipment for every part of your body. There's so many things that hockey players can do to one another just to permanently damage them. It's insane. Concussions, every sport, really. Slashing,
especially hockey and football. Yeah,
slashing has come up now in the World Juniors with Rasmus Sandin on Sweden, who's a Leafs prospect, and he's had a bad wrist, and apparently he thinks everyone's just hacking and slashing him to try and get him injured.
Yeah,
which I don't think is the case at all.
But more equipment means less mobility, unless it's very well engineered and produced.
It's very easy to say get bigger gloves, get bigger shin pads. Wear another pair of like pants, hockey pants or whatever. It's like it won't stop someone from elbowing you in the head. It won't stop Brad Marchand from, spiking you in the dick with his stick. Like, it just won't stop these things. Every year there's going to be dirty players doing dirty things. And it's nice that you got rid of fighting. That's nice, but nobody actually uses their equipment in a fight anyways. They just take it off.
Yeah.
They lose everything, and then they beat the crap out of each other. And there's so many... It's such a messed up league because all these guys, like Corey Perry, right? 5 games, he's a repeat offender, okay. There are other times, Taylor Hall didn't get anything for that. Because I don't believe it was called a penalty. You miss a penalty call, and apparently it's just you can't do anything about it from the league management office.
Yeah, like to prevent it, you just have to have harsher punishments.
Yes,
really.
I've always been a fan of that. Like, even with the Astros, even with in football, the Patriots, if you're going to go after someone to prevent it from ever happening again, give them something they won't forget.
Yeah.
Give them a ridiculous amount of games suspended. Give them a ridiculous fine. Fine the team. Yeah. Now, the one thing I don't think is okay is fining the head coach, which is what happened to the Columbus Blue Jackets, John Tortorella.
That
was
doesn't make
insane.
any sense. Yeah.
And I think the league is 100% in the wrong. I don't know if you read the explanation. It was like a 7th grader trying to meet the word count on an essay. Like, they just kept stupid little brackets like the referee on the play in brackets. His name was this, and we found this out because we looked into it, ... was there because he was skating backwards towards the... Like, nobody cares. Get with it. And it's just so stupid to watch. And, thank God Matisse Janmark was okay. And I say this because they're the Dallas Stars, but this could happen to anybody. I don't care who it happens to. If it happens to goddamn Patrice Bergeron, who I don't like, it's still a dirty hit. And you have to call these things, and you have to get it through their head. Obviously, there's going to be misses and there's going to be mistakes. But it happens so often in this sport, and I don't know how you fix it.
Just harsher punishment. Yeah.
When you do get it right, or when you do see it, make it worse than the person. I don't know how you do it, but you do something. They're sitting on your ass there and twiddling your thumbs and thinking about, how are we going to screw these guys over for the Olympics in years to come? It's just not going to solve the problem at all. No one cares about that. Fix what's there. Player safety is a big thing in every league. Fix it. And there's only so much you can do. They're doing this revamped, coaches training, so, there's no more bullying, all that stuff that was news weeks ago. And, you revamp the whole thing, I think. And this kind of goes into that, which is news came out that the ex-Stars head coach, Jim Montgomery, who everyone seemed to like, and then they fired and nobody would give an explanation. He checked himself into alcohol rehab
that
a couple days ago.
Yep. Coaching's
It's
probably
kind
not
of
an
funny,
easy
but
lifestyle. Yeah.
it's good for him, right? Like, you support these guys all throughout. I really hope he gets his act together because he was a well-liked coach. He did very well in Dallas. Everyone seems to like him. Thank God the team still likes Rick Bowness, and they played well under him. But coaches like that, it's none of our business. And he made his own statement. He came out and said, this is what happened. Well, not this is what happened, but this is the reasoning behind it. I'm going into alcohol rehab. And then he added, I forget the exact quote, but saying, it was the right decision to let me go, something along those lines. I was talking to you this before we started recording. Who has the audacity to then go out on social media or wherever and defend the guy? Like, if he says he's in the wrong, great.
Yeah.
He's in the wrong. Apologize.
Self-admittance.
It's so much better. This situation, I think I just might have hit this. But this situation is so much more fixable than like the Mike Babcock one or any other one, right? Yeah. Because the guy said, you know what?
He's going to get help.
I'm going to help myself. I'm going to get help for myself, I should say. Yeah. I'm not going to help myself to more drinks. But I'm going to fix his, life, and his family's behind him and all. It's great news. And anybody that goes out and says, okay, maybe he shouldn't have been fired, then he literally said it was the good decision to let him go. Yeah. And I think that's fine. You move on. He'll get another job somewhere. He's a great coach. I think years down the road, he'll be back in the league.
Once he fixes
in no
himself,
time.
Yeah.
I would
He's
not
got to
be
focus on
surprised.
himself before any of the hockey
and
stuff.
Nobody's going to talk about it, but okay, maybe he showed up to like practice hungover or something. I don't know. You can't do that, so it's a fireable offense, but at least he admit it. Yeah. Mike Babcock does not admit to anything, and those are two extremes, right? The guy apologizing, and then the guy sticking by his beliefs. Yep. And it's a tough situation, but it's good that he's getting on with it, I think, and it's good that it's out there because then people can support him. Sticking with hockey, going to the World Juniors quickly, and then we'll get on to baseball, which is where all the fun is, as usual.
For me, yeah.
For everyone involved. Canada is playing Finland currently, and Sweden played Russia this morning in their two semifinal games. Do you have an update on the Canada World Junior game by chance? Well, when he's looking to that, so it was the Finns. They're playing the Finnish team, who were only there with an upset, shocking 1-0 win over the Americans, which was so fun to watch. Because God, I hate the Americans so much.
Oh, Canada leads 4-0.
4-0. What period?
One period done in the semifinal.
Right. Okay. So 4-0. So it'll be
Close game. Yeah.
It'll be Canada Russia in the finals.
Nail biter.
Sweden choked again. They lost 5-4 to Russia this morning. 52-0 in group play in round robin, and then they hardly ever medal, or they don't ever medal or something. Every year,
Maybe it's a Kershaw mentality thing or something.
Well, I know, but you'd think that.
Yeah, but
it's new coaches.
Yeah, and new players.
The kids playing on this team were like infants the time this started. So it's like there should be zero correlation year to year.
Yeah.
But every time they kick everyone's ass in round robin, and then they do nothing later on. And I don't really like Sweden, but I feel bad for them. Because you always do great, and then you never actually go anywhere. So it'll be Russia, Canada in the finals tomorrow. It's looking like, anyways. The other big game would be the relegation game between Germany and Kazakhstan. So they play a best of 3. And it was 1-1. I believe Germany won 4-0, and then I believe in the second game Kazakhstan won 4-1. So then it's a big game 3 to see who gets relegated. I just assumed Kazakhstan would be 2-out. Like, I didn't think they actually would win a game against Germany.
Kazakhstan, like,
Germany.
How did they put up a fighting chance against kind of anybody?
Germany
really?
was a tough player against the Americans. Like,
Yeah.
Germany, that was a good German. That is a good German team. Moritz Seider and everybody, they are a good team. I don't know, something just happened, I guess, and they fell off the rails, kind of.
Yeah.
But man, that was distressing to see, because I don't want either team to really go. I don't like the idea of relegating someone to a lower league. But I think Germany should be there over Kazakhstan any year. I don't have nothing against Kazakhstan. I just think they're
not really a hockey country.
They're not a really good hockey country. And I think Germany every year has the chance to be something. They never really are. But I think you got to give them a chance at least. And I think this whole relegation idea, I'm just not a fan of. Also, I was bitching to Ben through text when he was in BC about this, because we were watching the World Juniors. The way that they determine divisions in this, so there's 2 divisions of 5 teams.
Yeah.
And they randomize the teams, so it's like a random division, like nobody picks.
Yeah.
That's nice, but when you end up with...
Yeah, that's not a good system
When you end up with Russia, hotshot, finalist, could be considered the favorite. Yeah. Canada, always a favorite. The Americans, who are always half decent, at least, usually very, very good.
Put up a fighting chance.
And then you throw in the home team, the Czech Republic, who doesn't really have a shot against any of those teams. And then you throw in the Germans, right? Like, I'm not saying you... because it takes place in the Czech Republic. I'm not saying you give them a free ride, but having the home team play the Russians, the Canadians, and the Americans.
Yeah.
3 losses. Or I don't know who I guess they beat Germany because they had. I don't know how. I don't remember. And then in the other division, okay, you have Sweden, and at the time nobody knew what Finland was.
Yeah.
And then you got the Slovaks, and you got the Swiss, who actually had a pretty good tournament, but no one expected them to. And then whoever else, forget the name off the top of my head. I shouldn't be, because I just watched them a couple days ago. But it's such a terrible idea, in my opinion, to randomize these divisions.
Yeah, that's never a good idea. It's like, it's always an unbalanced
It takes
mess.
out common sense completely from the equation.
It should always be top seed, bottom seed sort of thing.
But, yeah, so by the end of this, I think we'll do one more check-in, eventually, not right now, to the Canada-Finland game. But as I said, it'll be Canada and Russia in the finals, which I think should be a good game. The Russians are always good. They beat the Canadians earlier on. I think any Team Canada game is good, I guess, unless they're playing dirty. No one foot. Anyways, so getting to baseball now, which is what we both know and love.
Yep.
A couple things to go through. There weren't exactly as many moves.
Wasn't that big of a week compared to last week?
No, in weeks prior to, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but just to run through some things that happened. The Nationals signed a lot of people. There's one thing. The Orioles signed ex-Twins top prospect pitcher Cole Stewart to a 1-year, $800,000 split deal, and in a turning move, they DFA'd Marcos Diplan, who I originally said I thought he would be in the rotation, but I guess not. So I'm 0 for 1 on that one. But Cole Stewart will hop into the rotation 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the Orioles are so bad. I think if they gave me a fighting shot, I might be able to make the bullpen.
Yeah,
right?
they could probably sign someone from the Little League World Series.
Yes, honestly, just call up some 16-year-old or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're our new closer, right behind. I don't know who Miguel Castro is. He still on that team? I could not name one bullpen arm aside from Castro. But anyways, So Stewart will hop into the rotation. He'll get some starts. The Marlins signed Corey Dickerson to a 2-year, $17.5 million deal.
Surprised he didn't get any offers from competitive teams.
Well, he might have. Maybe he just
Yeah.
wanted to go. Right? Like everyone forgets about that.
Or maybe he's a genius and he went with Marlins knowing that he would be traded mid-season to a competitive team.
Yeah, but $17.5 million over 2 years isn't bad at all.
Yep.
I think you are probably right. They probably will deal him. There's a lot of guys on that team that can be dealt. If Cervelli's another one. I don't know who else they signed, but there are guys around that can do it. The Nationals signed a bunch of guys, as I said. They signed Will Harris, was the big piece, to a 3-year, $24 million deal.
He went to the team that hurt him the most.
Yes, he had a very interesting couple months there, right? He went from on the Astros dealing with all that garbage to now going to the team that beat him. He had really good numbers. I think that's a great pickup for the Nationals because they've consistently had an awful bullpen. So I think anybody they get is probably better than nothing.
Well, they had like the highest bullpen ERA at like 5 in the All-Star break or something.
Yeah, Doolittle showed up for a little bit of the season, didn't like well, and then just went back to being his usual mediocre self.
Fernando Rodney was still, for some reason, still there.
Oh my God. How is he still in the league?
I don't know.
Why is he...
He's like,
I'm not going to get mad about it.
Now, but whatever.
Who cares? He'll pitch till he's like 55. Who cares? Anyways, they also signed Starlin Castro to a 2-year, $12 million deal.
Yep.
He's had a very nice career. He's 29 years old. He'll probably play second or third, depending. They're going to give Kieboom a shot to win one of those positions, one of their top prospects.
Yeah, and Nationals also signed Asdrubal Cabrera to a $2.5 million deal.
Yeah, so Castro will probably end up playing wherever Cabrera isn't, because I don't think you bench Asdrubal Cabrera much.
So do you think that takes him out of the Josh Donaldson?
Absolutely not, I don't think. I don't think a 2.5 for 1 year for Cabrera is not bad at all.
Yeah.
They brought him back, right? He was there. Was he there last year for a bit?
Yep.
Yeah, he was there.
Their second baseman in the World Series, I think.
Even Castro, $6 million a year. They got lots of money anyways.
Yeah.
I don't think it takes him out of Josh Donaldson. Hell, maybe even Nolan Arenado, even though
they won't be World Series contenders next year, though. I don't think.
Yeah, maybe
they won't be as good as they were.
I mean, I think they'll make the playoffs probably still because they got guys like Soto and Strasburg and all these guys that they've locked up, but.
They lost Rendon, which is
Rendon's a big hit, yeah. So those are 3 guys that they signed. I think their team's coming around nicely with the Nationals. I think aside from Donaldson, maybe another bullpen arm, they're pretty much set, I think, because they got minor leaguers that are ready to come up, and like I mentioned, Carter Kieboom, who can come in and do something here and there.
Yeah.
And I think they're pretty much set. The Reds made history
by signing.
Week.
Do you want me to say the name?
I want you to say the name.
Okay, they signed Shogo Akiyama to a 3-year, $20+ million deal, which means the Reds were the only MLB team left to never have a Japanese player play for them.
And now they will.
Now they will.
Brilliant.
Yeah, maybe they'll
Great pronunciation.
I know. I speak, buddy.
I know. It's almost as if you're Japanese.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. So that's very cheap.
Very cheap.
Like he could. No matter what, he could be a 4th utility outfielder for them.
Hell, anybody's better than Billy Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think their team's coming around nicely.
He hit like 300 last year, I think, in the NPB, so...
Yeah, he's
it's
a good
not like
addition.
he's not
Absolutely
talented.
not. The Jays, I heard, were in on him for a little bit at the beginning, but that never went anywhere, obviously.
Why would it, right?
Yeah, why would it? The Reds, I think, they are improving their team in massive ways, I think. I don't think Akiyama is like a big name by far or anything, but I think
he's
it's
good
a nice
defensively.
piece.
Yeah,
you have guys in the outfield now, like Shebler if he's still there, or Winker, right? All these guys that they're not big names, but they do big things sometimes, and I think Akiyama can do that. And as you said, it's pretty cheap, it's pretty risk free.
Yeah.
3 years. I don't know how old he is. I think he's late 20s,
30, I think
early 30s or something. But it's next to nothing.
He's 31.
31, so he'll be 34 if they hang on to him for the full 3 years. Low risk, high reward. I don't know too much about him, but I can't imagine he's anything less than he's probably a solid addition, I would imagine, right?
He's good defensively. I don't know, it's kind of random how he is offensively. We'll see how he works out in the major leagues.
I think him, I don't know the full Reds team, but having him as like a center fielder and leadoff type thing wouldn't be bad. And is he a lefty hitter? Do you happen to know?
Most likely a lot of Japanese.
I think he is. But either way, I think he fits in very nicely for them in the outfield. So, I mean, it's a good addition for them. And I think the Reds are going to be
he's
fun
probably
to watch.
fast, too. Yeah.
I don't
think it's bad. Yeah.
I don't think the Reds have done one bad thing this offseason. I haven't disliked anything they've done.
Yeah.
And sticking with outfielder types. The White Sox locked up for the second straight offseason one of their top prospects, Luis It looks like his name is Robert. I think it's Robert.
Probably Robert.
I think it's Robert. So I'm saying Luis Robert to a 6-year, $50 million deal. The interesting thing there is that he hasn't made his MLB debut yet, although this pretty much guarantees that he'll make the 26-man roster out of spring training.
It's similar to the Tyler White Mariners thing?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's I think it's another great deal. I mean, this is obviously for more money.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good deal for both sides because the White Sox has, I texted you this off air, a great road. They have tons of young guys that can do this. They got the Kopechs and the Giolito's and the Jimenezes and the Mazzaras who's still young.
Yeah.
And all these guys that are now under control for many, many years.
And Shatkins love to talk about like control and how much control they have over their players for the next few years. I mean, the White Sox
have done
White Sox have
Keuchel, Grandal. They've
locked it down.
That would be a team that would contend for the playoffs next year, I think, for me. And not that Robert is going to be anything good, or he doesn't have to be an all-star per se, but I think he's getting a lot of money. He's really young. The White Sox can lock him up. I think it's a great deal for both sides. I think it makes complete sense for them, and I think this is maybe another one of those cases where if you didn't have that extra 26th roster spot, maybe they would have waited a little bit longer, right? But you have that extra spot, you have more flexibility, and maybe they'll use it on a bullpen arm too. Maybe they'll use it on him, but
hopefully bullpen arm.
But hopefully bullpen arm, and he'll slot right in the outfield. But I think that's a great deal.
Yeah, I think this is similar to like Ozzy Albies in a sense because it's just young guys signing for like safety more than they are for the money.
Yeah, it's becoming the norm more and more, and I think it's good for the. I mean, hey, if you want to do it, you want to do it, right?
Yeah, because it's security for the next 6 years. I mean, he doesn't have to pan out, and he still makes $50 million.
Yeah, and there were two club options on that. So after that contract, the 6 years, for 7 and 8 years, I believe there are $20 million options with $2 million buyouts. So it's a win. If he does well, great. You pick it up and you keep him, and he's in his prime. If he doesn't, you pay $2 million and tell him to go fuck off. Like it's just not. There's no downside to that. And I think a lot of these deals, as you mentioned, we're going to see it more and more. And I think it helps a lot of teams. It screws a lot of teams, though, too, I think. I don't think Oakland will ever be able to do this. I don't think Tampa will ever be able to do this. I don't think Miami will ever be able to do this.
Or the Blue Jays.
Well, the Blue Jays, if they want to, I think they probably could, but I don't think they want to, right?
Yeah.
But like these guys picking up the Luis Roberts of the Ozzy Albies, all those guys.
Yeah. And I saw that Albies is like worth 90-something million already.
Yeah, he went up in value so much. Like that was a great signing by Anthopoulos, and I still want to say by him because I'm sure. How much is he making? Do you have no idea?
He's making like next to nothing. I'll look it up.
Because I mean, I hate to say it, any money is better than no money right now. Obviously, because I'm not playing baseball, but I think. You're going to see this more and more often through these teams.
He's making next to nothing at 7 years, $35 million.
Yeah, so he doesn't get a whole lot.
He's got security, but he doesn't have the money to go with the numbers that he puts up.
Yeah, and maybe they'll give him like, when it gets the, end of that deal, they might give him an extension, right? And then he'll obviously want much, much more if he's still playing just as good. But I think you're going to see this a lot more frequently happen.
I'm not really opposed to it.
No, it's weird. I'm still noticing. Like, there's, as you mentioned, White in Seattle. Now there's this. Yeah. I'm sure there are other guys that I'm just completely forgetting off the top of my head, which this has happened to. Yeah. Scott Kingery. Yeah. 2 years ago, whatever, with the Phillies. Like he was almost the originator of that, right? Like the Phillies came out of nowhere and said 6 years, 24 or however much it was. Yeah. Here you go. Now, and he hasn't done a whole lot. Yeah. But 6 years and 24 is not bad.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, right?
Average it out.
Like. Hopefully that just means like less service time manipulation, which is what Chris Bryant hates. Why he hates the Cubs.
Yeah. A couple other minor ones and then some minor league ones that we'll just run through quickly. The Red Sox signed Kevin Plawecki to a 1-year $900K deal, and then in a corresponding move they DFA'd Sam Travis, the utility man. Plawecki will get a bunch of time behind the plate for them, I think. But nobody really cares. The Twins signed Homer Bailey on a 1-year $7 million deal. Everyone I've talked to seems to hate that so far. I thought Homer Bailey was... Well, because Homer Bailey has had historically bad numbers the last few seasons. But I think he's a league average pitcher with the Oakland A's. Yeah. I think he's a serviceable arm. I think Will he be great? No.
He's not going to be a replacement for Gibson or whatever.
No, absolutely not. But
him and Rich Hill could combine to be not that bad.
Rich Hill, once he's back from injury, Rich Hill will probably work out of the bullpen more, I'd think, as a lefty, as a long man, or as a specialty type of guy. But I don't think it's that bad. $7 million for 1 year. Oh, okay. If he goes out and gets a 7.5 ERA, just eat the $7 million and cut him.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal. And the Rich Hill thing too. 1 year, $3 million plus. Now, on that one, he gets a ton of incentives. Like he can make up to $10 million, I think, or something crazy like that.
He's also injured right now, and
injured, maybe arrested. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but I don't think either of them are terrible moves. They're both 1 year deals. They're veteran guys.
It doesn't hurt.
It does not hurt at all, and I just don't see. I mean, I'm no Twins genius, but I don't think it's the worst in the world. The Angels signed Jason Castro to a 1 year, $6.85 million deal, so they're, I guess, good on the more offense. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But where is the pitching?
That is the question, wouldn't it be?
Because, God, you can't, good offense isn't enough to win a World Series. You need good defense and you need good pitching.
Yeah, and it seems like we go over this, every week, right?
Because I think, I'm not even an Angels fan. I just like Ohtani. But I want them to succeed. Mike Trout's a good person.
Yes.
And I want to see him win.
Team.
Yeah.
Trout, Rendon, Ohtani,
Fletch.
Yes. Your boy Fletch. And it's
They're good people. They're not. It's hard to hate them. Yeah.
Yes. There's so what's another team? I don't know if the Rockies. I don't know if there's a bad person on that team. I'm sure I know nice guy. The saying is or whatever. Nice guys come last or don't win or whatever.
Yeah.
It's well, sometimes they do, and you can certainly help them.
Yeah.
And you can certainly cheer for them, and occasionally you can buy them a starting pitcher here or there.
Yeah.
But
looks like Angels are just gonna have another 80, 90 win season.
I don't think the Castro signing is terrible. I mean, if they get to 90 wins, I think that'll be great for them. But I don't think Castro signing is bad, but it ain't a pitcher.
They'll trade. They'll probably do a bunch of trades in the All-Star break, maybe.
Maybe. I'm going to get you to read this next one because I just would feel ashamed of butchering these guys' names.
How do you pronounce this? JT Chargois?
Chargois
signed with the...
I know the white names. I only know the white people names.
Signed with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles.
Holy shit.
Joins Zealous Wheeler, Jabari Blash, Alan Busenetz, and Kazuhisa Mikita. So, Jabari Blash, I love that guy.
He's the guy with the weird batting stance, right?
He plays for the Golden Eagles, obviously. He wears number 69, and he hits nukes.
Yeah.
And the announcers love him. And it's so fun to watch those clips.
I didn't know. I don't know if you know this. I mean, maybe you did. I don't follow the Japanese league much. But I read somewhere that the rule is each team can have a max of 3 foreign players. With Chargois getting signed, that's 4. Now, Busenetz... I'm just going to call him Allen because I don't want to say that. Allen and Chargois are both pitchers. Wheeler and Blash are both hitters. So if that is true, I mean, I just read it somewhere. I don't know if it is.
I haven't heard of that.
Then you have to, I mean, I guess you would cut Wheeler. I mean, I don't know how good these guys have been. I have no clue. But obviously, you're not going to cut Chargois. You're not going to cut Blash or Chargois. So then it's down to Wheeler or this Allen person. And, I mean, I don't know either, but... I think that's just an interesting rule.
Yeah.
Chargois is another guy that I think he was with the Dodgers for a bit last year. He can get his career back on track. I'm sure he'll come back to the majors at some point and succeed. Or get a deal at least, like a 2 year, $5 million deal. Yeah. Everyone loves signing 2 year, $5 million deals, apparently. There's been 5 this offseason. Yeah. It's insane. But, I mean, I think it's going to be a good chance for him over there.
Yep. Now I got some minor league stuff you can go over.
I'll go. This is my fetish. The Phillies signed Christian Bethancourt to a minor league deal. Infielder turned catcher now. The Reds signed Tyler Thornburg and Matt Davidson. Davidson, interesting. I mentioned, if you recall, 5 or 6 weeks ago or something, because he was guy in the White Sox a couple years ago, 2016 or something, hitting bombs. He had a 30 home run season.
Yep.
Then he struck out too much. Went to the minors. He was in the minors with Texas last year. They used him as a pitcher, and he was a two-way player.
Ooh.
So I don't think they'll actually use him as a two-way player because he didn't pitch much. But I think it's another interesting thing the Reds do, and Tyler Thornburg is probably one of the best bounce-back candidates, I would say, because he had a couple good years, and then he had a bad year and a half or whatever with the Red Sox and a rough go with the Brewers bit. But I think it's he's a serviceable reliever. I don't know if you need him, but he fills out a minor league roster, and he can certainly be used as a call-up. I think it's 2 good deals. The Giants signed Tyson Ross.
He was with the Nationals, was he?
No, that was Joe Ross.
That was Joe Ross.
Tyson Ross was the ex-Tigers. and Padres guy. He
Okay.
never really they're brothers, I think, though.
Oh,
Close enough.
yeah.
The Marlins signed Pat Venditte to a minor league deal. Your boy, the switch pitcher.
Yeah.
You know,
He's not that good, but it's fun to watch him.
he's
keeps
never really got a chance, right?
Yeah.
Like, so this new rule, right? This 3-batter minimum. If he's up in the majors for what team was it? The Marlins.
Marlins,
who he probably will be up in the majors for.
Yeah.
That'll help him so much, right?
Yeah.
Because you can throw him in there, and nobody will know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
It'll be brilliant. I want to see that his first game up next season. Call him up like it's the Marlins. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna even be there to watch.
Yeah.
But call him up and get him to just a face a righty and lefty and a righty. So he just
Yeah.
switches back and forth 3 times.
Yeah.
And I would
he,
love to see that.
Doesn't have that great of stuff or velo or anything.
No, but
it's just like he always has the
he
matchups.
gets through it.
He gets
Like,
all the matchups.
Yeah, and it's a perfect. I think it's great. Like he obviously doesn't throw too hard. He doesn't have great stuff, like you just said.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch these guys because they all find like new and creative ways to try and succeed and stick around, and I think it's great. I mean, this guy obviously he can throw with both arms, so that's like very new and very different. But it's just a creative way to do things, and I think
He was with the Jays for a little bit.
he was on the Jays roster. He was with the Bisons last year, I think.
Ooh.
At the beginning of last year, I think he was with the Bisons, but I don't know if he ever pitched with the Blue Jays.
I think he
Why didn't we sign him?
Well,
didn't-
I mean,
We have nobody in the bullpen. Oh, bring in the switch pitcher. I don't know.
Yeah.
You couldn't offer him a minor league deal. Maybe he didn't want to come
Yeah.
back. I don't know. But I think that would have been interesting. A few other ones. The Rockies signed Chris Owings to a minor league deal. He'll be up for sure. He had a weird season last year. Weird 2 seasons because he was with Boston and Kansas City. And before that, he did well in Arizona, but then he kind of fell off after that.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be up with the Rockies here and there. The Mets signed Ryan Cordell, who was an ex-White Sox outfielder, to a minor league deal. I don't think he'll be up. The Nationals signed David Hernandez to a minor league deal, who had a terrible
what
year
a
last
generic
year.
name.
But in 2018,
Jesus.
he was brilliant with the Reds. In 2018, he was one of the most underrated relievers in the league. And then he sucked last year.
Yeah, that's
But-
just the thing with relievers. They're
Yeah.
just
Oh, there's another. Hey, Nationals, right?
Yeah.
There's another. Hey, bullpen arm. Everyone needs a bullpen arm. And then the Tigers signed Alex Wilson to a minor league deal. He'll be up for sure. He was with the Brewers most recently, I believe. And the Indians DFA'd Eric Hassey, who was just some random catcher. The Blue Jays DFA'd Richard Urania, who I point out is 23 and an infielder.
Yeah, he was
In the corresponding move for the Travis Shaw.
like Richard
I
Urena always
roster.
seems like pretty decent when he plays.
Well, now
He's batting like, over 250 most of the time.
Yeah, whenever he gets the shot, he seems to do
Yeah.
half decently or better. And I jokingly call myself a genius every once in a while, but I happen to be stumbling across the Blue Jays active roster the other day. I
Sure.
don't know if you're looking this up right now or not, but I just figured I'd mention it. I saw going through the infielders. Right, you got these young guys like Santiago Espinal, who they added to the 40-man. Okay, that's fine. Maybe he has a shot to make it. He was in AAA last year. Whatever. Then I see Breivik Valera is still there.
Why?
And I have
How old is he?
clue on earth why Breivik Valera is on the roster.
Is he the one that with the really awkward Instagram pictures?
Yes, he is. I'm
my
sure he's a
God.
great guy.
Man, you should
But
check his
why
Instagram
are
out.
you
Yeah.
DFAing Rich Urania? He's 23. He's a perfect utility type.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised at all if he goes to Detroit to be kind of a Yeimer Candelario kind of guy, or be a Richie Martin guy in Baltimore.
Here, in
Like,
2018, when he was 22, he had 40 games and he batted 293. I mean, that's really good.
Yeah.
With an OBP of 340.
what
I mean,
the hell?
2019,
man?
he was batting 243, right? That's probably about average, pretty much, or a little
Uh,
below average, but
Maybe there was more to this. Like maybe him and his agent said, "Look, we're not going to get a shot to play here because you got the Vladdies and the Bichettes and the Bijos." And I mean, where would he really play?
yeah,
He'd be a good 26th guy is all. And I really do hope he succeeds somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because he helped the team well. He was good every time he was up. I don't think he had one really bad run with the team. Because they
How
didn't
good is he
really give him many
defensively?
runs.
I think he's pretty average defensively though.
Yeah, but when you hit 293, I mean, you're 23, right? This is prospect territory still.
Yeah.
And it's on hinging. What's the word? Hinging. That's
Yeah.
the one. Hinging on being too old as a prospect.
Yeah.
But the dude is 23.
Lots of potential
Fernando
still.
Rodney's 40 something.
Yep.
Come on. And he'll absolutely get a deal somewhere. But I don't know. I don't know. You signed Travis Shaw.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bounce back guy, I guess. If he does well, he can do
Yeah,
hit a bunch of home runs.
he said that like his last year's struggles were due to change in swing or
Yeah.
something. So he'll go back and hopefully be as good as he was 2 years ago.
Well, I hope he changes his swing back.
Yeah.
But even then, like if you had to pick Travis Shaw or Richard Urania, I don't know. If you as the last guy, I mean obviously they signed Shaw, so Urania's not here anymore.
Yeah.
But would Urania have been that much of a worse deal than Shaw?
I don't know.
It'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot more utility, I think.
And there's probably more potential there.
More potential there. Will he hit 30 home runs? Absolutely not. Will
hit
Shaw
for
hit 30
contact?
home runs?
Yeah.
I don't know. Will Urania hit 130 or whatever as Shaw did last year? No, he won't. So I don't know. There's various ways to look at it. But I just have no earthly clue what the hell that was about.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then that was, transaction-wise, that was about it.
Yeah.
Herman got suspended 81 games. His last 63 of them will start in 2020. I've completely, honestly forgot that he actually existed.
Yeah. I mean,
He went 18-4,
yeah,
right? Like
he was winning a whole lot of games.
Yeah, he was 18-4, but he had like a 4.03 ERA.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really match up.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's also the short porch and all that.
short. Yeah, I guess. And the Yankees have enough pitching to cover it for now, anyway.
Especially with the nobody Garrett Cole.
Yeah, and so I don't think that's too big of a deal. I don't even remember what he did. Did he beat someone up?
Oh yeah,
I don't
he
know.
beat his wife.
Oh, of
He's
course.
another wife beater. There's too many of those, man.
You think?
Yeah, they got to be more strict with that stuff.
Yeah, probably. I just completely forgot he existed. Minor stuff. Chris Tillman was the ex-Baltimore pitcher. He's 32 now. He's going to have a spring showcase to try and get a contract. He had a couple surgeries, so he was out for a while. Didn't pitch at all last year, I don't believe. But he'll come back, and I'm sure somebody will sign him to a minor league deal. I think, again, I keep pointing out, if Fernando Rodney can get a deal, I think he can. And I think if he's back to what he could be, obviously he won't throw as hard.
Yeah.
But he's probably a serviceable back end of the bullpen kind of guy.
I always feel like I face him in MLB The Show.
Oh, nice.
Whenever I play, I feel like I always face that guy.
Don Larson passed away at the age of 90, which is unfortunate.
That's too bad.
He was the only guy to pitch a perfect game. He pitched a perfect game in the playoffs for the New York Yankees.
Yeah,
the only one in history.
The Yankees loved him. He'd always go to the what are those old man games called?
Oh, God, like returnee games or something.
Yeah,
like
whatever
that.
it's called. He's always went to the old people game. And, did his thing
that's
there.
the old people game. He actually put up pretty decent at best numbers the rest of his time.
Yeah, he was
not to take anything away from him. He had a great playoff run. He won World Series MVP that year, obviously. Nice man. Came back, did a bunch of stuff in the community with the Yankees and helping out and all that. It was just unfortunate to hear about. But yeah, he had a good run in the playoffs that one year.
Yep.
Ex-Toronto Blue Jays second baseman Darwin Barney, my boy.
Yeah, I liked him, man. Whenever he was in Toronto, I liked him.
Yeah,
He had a stretch where he was batting over 300.
Yeah, he had a good run.
Yeah.
And he I don't know if it was what was going on, if it was, because, he was I don't know he was half Hawaiian or something. He was some mixed thing and all that was going on. And he had a really, big fan base, if you know what I mean. It was weird. I liked him just because of his stupid, failed attempt to slide into third base. But everyone else is oh, look at Darwin Barney over there. Okay. Anyways, so he'll get his first shot at being a manager, coaching at all in his entire career with the AAA Nashville Sounds, which is the AAA team for the Texas Rangers, who he previously played for and I believe debuted for.
We'll see how that goes.
I was wrong. He debuted on the Cubs. My mistake. But we'll see how it goes. AAA, I mean, he's young enough to probably have kept playing if anybody wanted him. So I think it's another
maybe
the
just
constant
as a
turnover of
leadership
managerial
skills.
types.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, he had a nice long major league career. He didn't play a whole lot, but he had a couple good years with the Cubs, right, as a rookie.
Yeah.
And even in Toronto, I don't think he played a whole lot, but he made a lot of friends, and he had that one stretch of hitting the ball really well. And I think it's good for him. All these young guys that are trying to get these spots. A few years ago, it was the ex-Jays guy Mike McCoy who took over, and for some A-ball team with the Padres. Now he's in Double-A managing or something like that. These guys.
Working up the ranks,
and up and up and up, and you're going to see tons and tons of these young managers coming to the major leagues. I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess it's something. Keeps
Maybe
these
it'll
guys in the game, right?
more relatable to the young guys.
Yeah, and most of these guys didn't have great major league careers. Darwin Barney had a good one, not a great one. Mike McCoy had next to nothing.
Yeah.
Andy Green, I don't think had a whole lot. Craig Counsell
I think
had
it's
a
just
couple
like
good seasons.
the knowledge of the game.
Yeah, and you're,
leadership
as
skills.
you said, you're relatable to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You're not old enough that you might be perceived as like a racist. Although Josh Hader might be, but anyways, I think it's good. A few other bits of news. Yesterday I went on Twitter, and I want to say it was Jeff Passan or someone who pointed out this, and I know you saw this. This 21-year-old coming out of the minor league system in Japan, named Oscar Colas, who defected to I don't know what the process is, but he defected.
Yeah.
Anyways, now he wants major league contract. He's 21. He's a two-way player. He's a lefty pitcher. He can throw up to 95.
Yep.
And he put up great hitting numbers last year in Japan.
Yeah, the thing is, I saw that he wasn't in the major league Japanese system. He was playing for the minor league Japanese system. So it's I don't know how directly this can how he can put these numbers up again in real more competitive baseball, I guess.
I think he'll get a deal because he's 21 and he had good numbers, but that was an interesting point. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting story. I don't think he'll be anything great, but having a two-way player is definitely interesting.
Yeah, more of those coming
especially
around.
as a hard-throwing lefty.
Yeah, lefties are always very valuable.
Well, you'd think. My buddy's still not signed. But anyways, then you found this Yoenis Cespedes thing.
Yep.
I don't know too much about, so you...
Basically, there was a New York Post article. So Yoenis Cespedes was injured all last year with some farm thing. No one really knew what it was, and apparently everyone thought he stepped in a hole and twisted his ankle or whatever.
Which is bad enough.
Yeah, but actually it came from an interaction with a wild boar. This is from the New York Post, and this is a quote from the article. Mets player's contract of recent vintage prohibited any acts, activities, or sports involving a substantial risk of personal injury. Engaging with a wild boar at close range would potentially qualify as such an act.
Nice.
I mean, what the hell are you doing, Yoenis Cespedes? This guy needs to make money, right? He's I don't know, he's pretty average recently. He's got big time power.
Recently.
Yeah, he's got big time power.
He had a couple good years and he made some money, but he just got his contract restructured by the Mets, I think, so for a lot less.
Yeah. But I mean, why do you got to fight with a wild boar?
Yeah. What did you do?
I don't know.
We're never going to know, I don't think.
Yeah.
But did he maybe he was being an idiot and the boar was there and he had one of those loud noisemaker things.
Oh god.
Just honked the horn and when the boar charged at him and he broke his ankle trying to jump out of the way.
Yeah. Either way, what a moron. I mean, come on.
What an idiot.
I'd honestly rather he'd stepped in a hole and twisted his ankle than engaged with
there have been so many dumb
boar.
injuries. There was forget who it was. It might have been Ryan Goins or somebody years ago. He hurt his ankle because he was walking down an airport hallway and his foot got twisted up with his luggage or something. Bumgardner fell off a motorbike.
Yeah.
Or these stupid...
Yeah. ATV or something.
However many years ago, in the early 2000s or whatever, the Blue Jays guy had a bad dream about spiders, so he, in his sleepwalked, and he walked into a table, and he woke up with shards of glass in his skin, and he was completely bloody, and he put on the IR. The guy was it David Price or somebody on the Red Sox who got carpal tunnel syndrome from playing Guitar Hero?
Oh yeah, I think it was.
Was it Price?
I think it was.
It
Price.
was somebody.
Yeah. It was some big name guy. Yeah.
That guy on.
I mean, Trevor Bauer and the drone.
The drone, the Detroit guy, however many years ago, I think it was Detroit, getting locked in a bathroom and overheating. It was just stupid goddamn things.
Yeah.
It's totally preventable. Maybe don't, walk so slowly or so
when
quickly
you're worth
in an
so
airport
much. When you're
hallway,
worth so much, you gotta be a little more careful with what you're doing.
I'm not saying don't ever do anything. Far from it. Do whatever the hell you want. But, don't do that.
Yeah.
Grant Balfour.
When the Mets are they're going to be competitive next year. Or they have a chance of being competitive next year. It's just, you got to be a little more careful than that.
Yeah, I want to search this up now. There was this story, long time ago. You remember Grant Balfour? He was the closer for the A's. I don't know if you do.
No.
He was the relief pitcher for a bunch of teams, but he was this crazy Australian guy who got good numbers a couple seasons. There was this story of him trying to swim across some Australian river or something, and he couldn't make it, so his teammates had to come and try and help rescue him. Grant Balfour River. There's some story there, and yeah, it had to do with R.A. Dickey. New York Mets ace R.A. Dickey says Oakland A's reliever Grant Balfour kept him from drowning. Oh, right. So it was Dickey who tried to cross
God.
the thing. And Grant Balfour had to come running to save Dickey. And I'm not going to read all this, but it was where I saw it was in one of R.A. Dickey's books. He talked about this. But what the hell? I mean, maybe he really wanted to swim across the river. Apparently, Dickey actually really was a good swimmer and enjoyed swimming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was
what
that before or
river this
after his
was.
Cy Young season?
This was in 2012. No, this was in 2007.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get my facts straight. But from a Missouri River, because 5 years ago when he and Dickey, so Balfour and Dickey were minor league teammates, Balfour plucked a struggling Dickey from the fast-moving Missouri River.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, I don't know why I thought of that off the top of my head. I don't know how we even got on this. Oh, right, it was Cespedes.
Yep.
But it's so many stupid injuries.
Yep.
Go online and
All
look them
preventable.
up. They're hilarious.
All preventable.
All preventable.
All right, well, in more news, we got some old guys that refuse to retire, starting with Edwin Jackson, who's 37. Put up horrendous numbers with the Jays. He was like the tank commander, pretty much. Helped us tank, and I remember there was an Angels game where he went through, a third of an inning with 7 earned runs or something.
I will watch some seriously stupid baseball games in the summer when I'm bored.
Yeah.
I would not watch Edwin Jackson pitch.
Yep.
Could not do it.
That was painful, but he says his wife his wife said that they have to pull him by the ear out of the league. And I don't know if whatever ERA he had last year was enough of a sign to tell him to get out of the league or not.
God, I couldn't stand watching him. There were a couple guys. I get it. It was the a bad season for the Jays and whatnot. I'm trying to look something up right now, but
Yeah.
Edwin Jackson. You had these guys that could come up. Like spot starters, free agency even, right? Clay Buchholz was injured. He didn't do a great job, but I mean, it was. I don't know what. Here it is. 3-10 last year. Edwin Jackson was 52 Ks, 9.58 ERA, 2.02 WHIP.
Impressive. 2.2 WHIP.
2.02 WHIP.
No, 2.02 WHIP. That's still horrendous.
I'm looking this up because I was stupid enough one point in my life to use him as a fantasy baseball pickup.
Mm-hmm. Is that after his no-hitter with the Diamondbacks or whatever?
No, this was last year.
Oh.
This was last year. I was just desperate for a starting pitcher, so I'm like, I'll pick him up. And I know you don't really know a whole lot about fantasy baseball, but he ended his season with the total of 38 points.
Oh.
Which
Isn't 20 points a good start?
20 points would be, a good start. So he ended the season with 38 points.
Wow.
I don't know. Pick some pitcher. Who was half decent last year? Mediocre, but let's say Tanner Roark, just for comparison. Tanner Roark ended the season with 363 points.
Oh my God.
He was 10-10 with a 4.35 ERA.
Jesus
He was in league
Christ.
average. Now, if you go to
38?
yeah,
Oh my God.
brutal. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here, but I'm. Yes, he had a good seasons. Yes, he's a nice guy. Yes, he
Maybe he
had
just
a
wants to-
mid-9
yeah.
ERA.
Maybe he wants to just break the record for most teams
Maybe.
ever or something.
But
Anyways.
then do that and pitch one inning on each team.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah, yeah.
torture them anymore.
Yeah. And then Rajay Davis is not retiring at age 39.
I like Raji.
Yeah. He
He
played
was
with
a
the
great guy with
Jays.
the Jays.
Yeah. He hit the home run off Chapman in Game 7 that tied it.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Loved it.
That was big time. He stole 20-something bases 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he was with the Jays. He was
Yeah.
a fan favorite with the Jays. He stole a ton of bases. A speedy, good outfielder for them.
Also the last strikeout in Justin Verlander's first no-hitter.
Oh, I didn't know
in
that.
the Rogers Center.
Oh.
Yeah, I see that clip over and over on MLB At Bat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's a shame. But anyways, I like the guy. I think he'll probably get a minor league deal somewhere.
Yeah.
Even if it's with the Royals or somebody.
Or maybe the Indians will pick him up again.
Maybe the Indians too. Somebody should.
Yep. And next story here. The top 2 winningest teams of the decade go without a World Series title. Do you
Yeah,
know who those are?
Ooh, if I had to guess,
Yep.
Yankees.
Yep.
So one.
Yep.
Dodgers.
Yep. Yankees didn't even make a World Series.
I guess that wasn't the hardest
Yeah.
thing.
I mean,
Did the
who-
Dodgers?
Dodgers made a couple
Oh,
World
right.
Series, but they choked it all the time.
Right, it was the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't remember that. Anyways, yeah, I don't know, man. Winning,
Paying money can't do,
no, it
can't do that much.
It can do good things in the short term.
Yeah.
It may not do good things in the long term.
I also saw that the Mariners and the Royals had the same record this
Yes, I
decade.
saw that too. And one had a World Series and 2
Exactly.
playoff appearances,
Yeah.
and the Mariners had nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's just consistently mediocre.
Yep.
Right? As opposed to being really good and then really bad, being flatlining at average at best.
I mean, how on
just-
earth did the Royals win a World Series? They just
Well,
had
they
like
had-
some miracle
They had
small
the
ball.
three-headed bullpen.
Yeah.
They had the Herrera,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Davis,
yeah.
and the sorry, I don't know who else was there. Somebody else.
Yeah.
And it was them. That was 15, right? It was them and the Mets.
Yep.
And both teams, Mets and the Royals, just fell off afterwards. The Royals more so because they went from being like a World Series contender and winner
Yeah, it's like 75
to
wins.
losing bad old contracts that weren't expiring. The Alex Gordons, the messed up Mike Moustakas situation.
Yep.
Their pitchers, were all kind of lacking in that regard. And, it was tough. I mean, I don't feel any sympathy for the Royals because they shouldn't have beat the Blue Jays in that series anyways. It wasn't even their fault, but
Was that
it was the
a-
umpire's fault.
Is that Neanderthal's catch for the home run that
Oh, the
leaned
guy that
over?
looked Amish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And then he was like an internet celebrity for a couple days.
Yeah, and then fell off just like the Royals.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a good insult. And that was also the one, right, where it was Ben Revere who struck out,
yeah.
lost his mind, beat up a trash can.
And then tanked.
And he never got his career
Yeah,
back
I
on
think
track.
that's probably just totally damaging to him mentally.
Unfortunate for him. I
liked him, yeah.
He was another Rajay Davis type, much younger.
Yep.
But I liked him. He was another speedy outfielder. And I don't know. Not to rehash the bad old days, but
Yep.
at least the Jays were in the playoffs then.
Yep.
Oh, man. What a little pisshead, eh? That little fucker in right field.
The Amish guy.
I want to know what happened to him. I
Who knows?
wonder if
Did he
ever
keep the
got-
ball? That's what I want to know.
I hope somebody took the ball and beat him with it. Just get to the hospital. I
Yeah.
don't know, something. I say that half an hour after saying I don't condone violence.
Also, David Price was shit in that series, and
Yeah, it wasn't a very
Yeah.
good. I don't know. So I found this MLB because it's the New Year 2020. We never said Happy New Year to anyone.
Happy New Year.
New Year. I can't believe we forgot about that. But so this article that the MLB posted on their website, just some bold predictions for 2020. We know what they think is going to happen.
Yep.
I'm just going to run through these. Nothing major, just quick ones. And you can just tell me yes or
Agree
no.
or disagree, yeah.
Agree, disagree, something like that. I was trying to come up with a name for a segment for this. Couldn't do it because I'm not creative. Anyways, 1. The Twins signed Josh Donaldson.
That's possible. That's very possible.
The Dodgers will trade for Chris Bryant.
No.
I really hope
they're-
that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting Chris Bryant. I think they're getting Betts or Francisco Lindor, if anything.
The Red Sox won't trade Mookie Betts. They'll extend or re-sign him by year's end.
No.
No, I think he's getting moved too.
Yeah, he's gone.
The Indians will trade Francisco Lindor.
That's possible. I don't know. It seems
in
like a coin
December.
flip. In December.
Yeah, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, okay.
That already didn't happen. Marcell Ozuna back to the Cardinals.
Nope.
Nick Castellanos to the Braves. I don't know why they didn't make those two separate ones. That was
I
all
don't
one.
know. I don't think Castellanos is going to the Braves.
I wanted Ozuna to come to Toronto, but I don't want that anymore.
Why's that?
Well, because it's we got Teoscar Hernandez, right? We won't get into
power
it.
hitting.
Whole another day. Topic for another day. Derek Jeter will be the only BBWAA inductee in the 2020 Hall of Fame class.
No.
I really hope not, too.
Yeah,
That'd be a joke.
Overrated.
Here's a big
Very
one.
overrated.
The White Sox, Reds, and Oakland A's will be the upstart division winners.
Ooh, I don't know if they'll be the division winners, but I think they all have a chance of making the postseason.
They'll have a shot at
Yeah.
doing something weird. Yeah, I think the A's probably have the best shot. Neither 2019 World Series team will reach the 2020 postseason.
Nationals have a chance. I mean, Astros have a chance. They both have a chance. I don't know.
Pick one.
What do you think?
What do I think? I
Yeah.
think no. I think they'll probably both make it.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think the Nationals have a chance to not make it.
Here's another one. Yoan Moncada, so you know who that is,
Yep.
right? This hotshot guy on the White Sox, will challenge Mike Trout for American League
Nope.
MVP.
Nope.
No?
Nope. Next.
Ronald Acuna Jr. That was really quick.
Well,
I like Moncada.
No one's testing Mike Trout.
Oh, Moncada's a nice guy. Ronald Acuna Jr. will be the National League MVP.
Who else is in the National League that's that good?
Yelich, Bellinger.
Oh, Bellinger. I don't know. There's, I guess
More guys we're just clearly not thinking.
Yeah, he could, but he's gonna be the next Bryce Harper. Everything's going to his head.
Ben would wet his pants for that. Him and his big Acuna fan base.
In the NLCS when he thought he hit the dong and it turned into a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
God, that was, I don't know. Anyways, Mike Clevenger will win the American League Cy Young.
Nope.
Walker Buehler will win the National League Cy Young.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I thought Buehler was really...
Yeah, Buehler's so dominant in the postseason.
Remember when the Jays could get Jack Flaherty, but we didn't?
Yeah.
And then he was like...
We
made
got
the
Merriweather?
second all MLB team last year, Flaherty.
Yep.
And then we got Julian Merriweather.
Yeah.
Maybe me and Ben and I will go down to Florida for March, and we'll interview Julian Merriweather.
Sure. Do that.
I can't slag him anymore, though.
And talk to Ryu.
No, what, in Korean?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll just hire a translator. Gavin Lux and Brendan McKay will be the rookies of the year.
Nope.
Not even a discussion? McKay was the two-way player on the Rays, if you didn't remember, and
Yeah.
Gavin Lux was the hotshot guy on the Dodgers.
I don't know. I don't know if Gavin Lux is going to keep it up, but whatever.
I like Brendan McKay so much. Because he was a consistent, good reliever and long, like the Yarbrough type last year
Yeah.
for the Rays, and then he hit well too. Like he was one of the best stories I think as rookies. I just love to see it. Here's a couple Blue Jays ones. We'll see what all the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. fuss was about.
Yes. I think he'll break out. I mean, you saw his post All-Star game numbers. He's about like 328. And
Yeah.
All he has to do is fix the launch angle, and he's a golden boy.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will win at least one home run derby before he retires.
Yeah, duh. I mean, no
Definitely.
kidding. Before he retires, he's, 20 now?
Yeah, 21 now.
Yeah, he's got like,
20 years. Huh?
Yeah.
He's just getting started.
Yeah, he didn't fucking set a record last year. There's a lot more coming, I'm telling you that.
Christian Yelich will compete in and win the home run derby
Nope.
next year.
Nope.
No? I don't think he would do it either. The 3-batter minimum won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
guess
hate
so.
it, but I think people will get over it.
Yeah.
Just a couple more. The wild card winners will be the Rays and the Indians in the AL and the Mets and the Phillies in the NL.
The Indians?
I didn't come up with this.
Are they serious?
Don't shoot the... 2 seconds.
Was
and
that
I'll tell you
before? Was that before the Kluber trade?
Oh, this is written on January 1st
Oh, jeez.
by Anthony
No,
Castrovins.
Indians don't have a chance.
Yeah, I don't think the Indians have much of a chance either. That'd be interesting, though.
Yeah.
The Mets and Phillies, I think that's plausible.
Yep.
Oh,
Mets have a chance.
I'm going to just read you this. It's very brief. The Rays and Indians in the AL, the Mets and the Phillies in the NL, but only after the Brewers and Padres get eliminated by the Phillies in a 3-way tiebreaker for the second spot at season's end.
Jesus. I mean, remember last year when there was like everyone thought there was gonna be a 5-way tie in the NL East or something?
I like how he adds on this with a little, like a little star or whatever. As always, I reserve the right to replace these postseason predictions with a different set during spring training. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
And the last one, of course, the Yankees will win the World Series.
I hope not, but they have a chance. They have a very good chance.
I think they have a great chance.
Yep. But I pray to God that they tank.
I hope everything goes wrong.
Yeah. Injury
Not
plagues.
to wish injury on anybody.
I mean,
but
they're all gonna get injured.
hey, I mean, if Garrett, I don't know. I used to be really easy to hate them because of, the Teixeiras and the A-Rods.
But Judge is very likable.
Judge hasn't pissed anyone off.
Yep.
Gleyber Torres has only pissed off Baltimore fans because he hits there. Garrett Coles just seems like a genuinely nice guy.
That loves his money, yeah.
That loves his money. Did you know that him and Brandon Crawford are related?
No. But I mean, they have the hair
Brandon
going.
Crawford's, well, not blood, but Brandon Crawford's sister is the wife of Garrett Cole.
Oh.
If you go back on
I
YouTube,
saw
and then
that, I
they'll
saw
see
that.
them facing each other,
Yeah.
like back when Cole was on Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I wonder if they really do despise each other. But anyways, yeah, I hope a lot of things go wrong. Gardner, there's another asshole I hate.
Alien head.
Did they
hanging on the
they
thing.
re-sign him? Yes,
Yep.
1 year, $10 million. The guy that looks bashing his
Yep.
bat against the roof,
And they
right?
have LeMahieu.
LeMahieu's likable, and he's
Which
always
all the,
hit.
Oh God, I hate the Yankees. And the Yankees fans
Oh,
especially.
Chapman, there's an asshole.
Oh,
Chapman.
wife beater.
Who else is in their bullpen?
Oh, they had that.
They have a great bullpen and
They
they
have
have
a
great
bunch
pitching.
of guys that just throw really nasty sliders.
Paxton, can't dislike him. He's Canadian.
Yeah.
Severino, I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure he
Oh,
irritated me at
he's
some
the
point.
underbite guy that throws 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have it's all these young guys coming back from like injuries. Jordan Montgomery,
Yeah.
Domingo Herman. There's another guy you can't like.
Sanchez.
Oh, their backup catcher, Kyle Higashioka.
Yep.
I think he's part Japanese.
Sounds like it.
Definitely. Well, that's about it for this. We overshot this on time so badly.
Hour 34.
Hour 34, and we're only almost done.
Yep.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming back in.
Of course.
Filling in for Ben, who's indisposed, doing whatever right now. I think it was a great 2 weeks. I mentioned last week we gotta get another mic and get it through. I guess that'll be a quote unquote season 2 thing, maybe. But it'll happen at some point. It'll be fun to have Ben back in here.
And you can talk about NFL and NHL and all that.
In our lovely studio. What a brilliant place to do this. Anyways.
Should I check the Canada score?
Oh, yes. Just check the Finland-Canada one. A big reveal. I'm probably like 6-0 Canada.
5-0 lead over the second intermission.
Oh, that's pretty good. I feel bad for these Finns, though, as I keep saying. But anyways, so it'll be Canada-Russia. Well, it's been fun. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Ben has plenty of stories to tell from BC. And
Raining, yeah.
Oh, yeah, a lot of rain.
Happy New Year and all that.
Oh, yeah, Happy New Year. Hopefully everyone had a great New Year. I know we did. Anyways, we'll talk to you then.